Today I'm in Oxford that's being invaded by Romans, and we're gonna kick them out of the country. Bloody immigrants. So our tribes are just assembling, and my tribe's missing some, so today I'm playing one of the tribal chieftains of the Britannia, and we kind of hold people together. We're kind of not warring with anyone. Oh, our king's just turned up. I ought to introduce myself and start sucking ass. So the first turn is in action. I have made a bit of a boast that I'm the greatest warrior in the land, and sent the message out to the other tribes to send their best champions to face me in combat, because I demand to eat first in the feast. That was all really good until an Iceni visitor came and I saw how many heads he'd taken in combat, and I've taken 4. He had 8. I'm a little bit worried about this now. It's probably going to cost me 5 heads of cattle, and I'm now wondering whether I should go to the policey and get some cattle. Jason and I decided to play different roles in this game, so he's off being a bard, travelling the land and getting news, and I traded in a girlfriend point to get him to come to our table in the first round, because I wanted him to get the news of this tournament I was going to run and spread it far and wide to all the tribes. Only he came back with the news that, well, they were going to come and they're all really powerful, and basically I was going to die. Oh, and my tournament prize of 5 heads of cattle was now apparently 55. Thank you, lover.
I'm pleased to hear of this tournament, people visiting us, seeing how mighty we are, and as king I will increase the prize for the winner by a head of cattle, and I will throw a feast for all those attending with wine, a lovely pleasure that I have recently acquired, and I will share our bounty, share our glory, for the glory of the tribe and the glory of the gods.
I just picked up a strength 9 follower for my mighty boasts of the tournament. And what did you get?
I got some nice warm hides to protect me from the elements, since I'm like travelling and stuff.
And who gave you that?
The crown?
What's the crown? Is that the king?
I think so.
I guess so.
And I also got some wine from you guys, which was lovely.
Wow, you have done well. That's apparently worth 7 of the shiny coins the Romans like.
To keep you company, and also the Druid gave me a ring. Or a bracelet, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's a bracelet. Oh, yes.
They did visit us.
You gave me one of these. I definitely gave you one. Oh, you gave me the bracelet, did you?
I think I gave you that.
Oh, right. Okay, all right. I didn't remember who gave me
As thank you for passing on the news of my great tournament that I'm
gonna die, bred far and wide.
But I have a cunning plan.
Am I allowed to hear it, or?
As long as you don't pass it on, it's like me to you, not me to the bard.
Oh, I see. Okay. No.
Well, I'm going to have... Okay.
I'm going to start playing.
So the druid is about to determine whether I'm going to succeed in this tournament or not.
I just speak the truth of the God.
Absolutely. Don't want a yes, druid.
Evidence, if ever it was needed, that our druid was truly neutral and just told the runes as they truly were, she basically predicted that I was fucked. As a direct consequence of this, our game controller handed me a red token, which meant that the favour of the gods was against me.
Of course, it is every warrior's wish to die in battle gloriously, of course. Not such an early stage, but... You need to decide your order. So, I would say currently...
My plan paid off, and the king announced that I would indeed be first to eat at this feast, which would give me the best rewards in terms of new followers from all the prestige of the event.
And then we shall distribute amongst us our Roman friend who's not participating in the tournament. Unless you wish to. Six to three, keep going.
So the tournament's over. I didn't quite win. I lost by a wound, but I did fight naked just to make sure that my honour was everything. Anyway, the warband has just returned victorious, and now the Brigantes and the Parisi are vassal states. So that's like 3 tribes we now sort of control. So a grand alliance is forming. There we go. There we are. Yeah, you can't see it. I don't think this is even coming out on camera. Anyway, what the hell is my tribe's name? Coritani. Yes, we now have the Parisi and the Brigantes as vassal states. Our king has married into the cats. We're calling them the cats because it's too much of a mouthful. And we are friendly with the Iceni and the Regni, and we're about to extend a little further into a great big alliance, which is going to fuck up the day for the Roman players later. The Romans have landed here in Druidic, and we've heard news from a Druid that there are no survivors. None. So next on the Romans' hit list is going to be Belgae and Atrebates. So I've asked a bard to send a message to these people that we will raise a warband, just tell us where and when, to help protect you from the Romans. Our mighty empire of the Coritani, the Brigantes, the Parisi, and hopefully the cats as our allies will be in on that. We're sending diplomats off to the Dobulini, don't think that's going to achieve much, and I'm going to go to the Iceni this turn to try and get them on board the alliance. We are going to try and save Britain from the Romans. So I've just had the news that the Romans have landed a fleet in East Anglia area, Essex, Trinovantes, and they also have a fortress in the Catavillani cats, who are our allies through marriage. So I have, whilst I was over at the Iceni, I've talked them into taking a war host there, and I'm going to join them in that war host there. My king doesn't stop me. War is here. We are going to fight the Romans and destroy them. We are divining for war against the Romans.
The first card is to show. Oros is a simple-minded horned, sending up high, a fierce horned fighter, stamping his hooves, striking beast. War. War.
Go! Woo, we made it through!
You made it! We're going. Yes. You had exactly enough.
Are you being attacked? Who has arrived in the Trinovantes land and dares face us? The North! The North! The North! I see
The game mechanics don't seem to really be coping. I think they're still getting ready to fight the battle. So it's going a little slow at the moment while they sort out the cards. There is a lot of us attacking. My army's quite big.
Okay, if you're not currently resolving a battle, please return to your captain's the council phase. Thank you very much. That's the council phase for the next turn. Thank you.
The Romans are organising their forces with auxiliaries in front and legionaries behind, and he's carefully assessing the value of his troops. He's carefully assessing the value of his troops, like front and back, like they've all got numbers on. Just to try and make the strongest lines so we don't break through. We're totally going to break through.
Choose one of your captains. Whoever throws a card now goes first.
Hello. Are you the chief of somewhere? Chief of the Britannia?
Yes.
Hello. So I am an emissary of the Druidic. We were... I'm an emissary of the Druidic. We were... quite active by the Romans. We are trying to aid other nations in their resistance against the Romans. We have resources for you. So we wish you... Yes, well, we're kind of making advantage of them being there and getting some stuff.
These are illegal in our land.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
With banned Roman trinkets.
Oh, wow. But doesn't it help with getting resources?
The only people who seem to want this are Roman traders, and we have sent them all scurrying.
It's the only thing we've got.
Well, I won't take from somebody at the end of the tether for a Coritani. I could not accept this Roman stuff, but we have, just so you know, we've formed a great war host, and we are fighting on the Romans.
We may be able to ride forward. I will look into it.
So, the battle is a bit strange. Most of us didn't get to fight. Well, that was news from Game Control. Apparently, our attacking force was routed. Most of them never actually got to fight. Feel a little bitter, you know, we just united probably over half of Britain against the Romans. Most of them didn't even get to fight. And we got sent scurrying. Redcon by the mods. They said, no, we haven't disbanded, we were just pushed back and we can go back in.
We're not disbanded, we're just in the edge of their territory.
Right, so we're going to keep the pressure on and defeat these fiends. So the Iceni have gone to head off a Roman legion that's attacking us from behind. So I'm now fighting up against two local chieftains who are sided with the Romans. The fanatics here, one of the ones I'm going to try and kill now, has 10 heads, and Sholto has a measly 6.
Measly, yes.
Which is the same as me.
Alright, how do we do this? I have no idea.
Are we doing the duel? Are we doing
No, I'm bringing my arm.
Here's what I do.
Okay.
Okay, so you beat. Keep them a bit separate. Well, you beat them, so you beat them around, so that's one way to do, so you go first next. Try and make contact. Roman's captain, place one down.
Yep.
Social rejection, but every way to put it. Okay? One, you go first next.
Back up.
Are they attacking? No, they're attacking 11.
It's over there.
And I would like to.
Okay, plus one, you've won. Okay, so you go. So you go next.
Sure, we can't do like a one-on-one fight?
Okay, you've won. And you're first. Yeah, that's good. 9. Oh, is it? That's a 9.
That's a 9.
Jesus!
How are you guys getting on?
We've got to get somebody to get 3 general loot from over there.
3 general loot.
3 general treasure from over there.
3 general treasure.
You can have. Would you like a kitchen table?
You get 2 cattle from each of you guys. 2 each. 2 cattle each.
2 cattle.
One. This is just rolling into a full sense of security.
Pleasure crushing you. So I was victorious in defending our rear guard by taking on the entirety of the triumvirate, whatever it is, tribe, all by myself. But our big war band that was attacking the port apparently failed. The Iceni, I'm not sure what's happened to yet. I've still got to find out that news. They peeled off to take on a Roman legion, and I'm not sure what happened. Went all a bit terribly wrong, so we fought a battle, or at least we went over to rescue the Iceni, who were under attack by the Romans. And the Roman legion had left the Iceni and had returned to the people in between. So we followed them through, and we were told we caught them up. By the time we'd caught them up, the monster decided we'd caught them in Regni, which we didn't even have the movement to reach, and there were 3 Roman legions, and we got annihilated. Now, we basically had 3 warbands, or 3 chiefs with us, so we each fought against a legion. I decimated the legion I fought, but they said it was one big battle, so you all lose 5 of your followers. Basically, I've got 1 follower left who's not even skilled in combat anymore. He just took my entire hat for winning the battle. He took all of my forces. So I'm now kind of fucked. I can't do any more fighting. I cannot take the fight to the Romans anymore. So what I've decided to do is to travel the land as a lone soldier and find enemies of Britain and slay them in one-on-one combat. So after my crushing defeat of a victory, I wandered the land looking for traitors to kill. Basically anyone aligned to Rome. And I went first of all to the other Celts that we fought earlier on when they were obviously Roman, and they refused to fight because it was Samhain, which is a festival. Well, it's autumn, and basically Celts don't fight there, and I incurred the wrath of the gods. So then I went and found a Roman legionnaire commander who basically accepted the duel. I angered the gods even more, so what started off as an even fight was me being, well, half as likely to win. Anyway, I lost. Because of all this god angering that I was doing in Samhain. So I had a go. I wounded a Roman and died gloriously. Apparently I get a new character back, which is, I can rejoin the game with somebody with followers. Yay! That might be more useful than the character I had left after all of my followers were destroyed. So they've sent me back into the game as a new character with even less. So no followers at all now. 1 treasure card and some capital. And a character with 2 heads, which is a bit pointless. The King of the North, as it were, the King of the Coritani, is now going to be leading a giant warband into the cats, our allies from earlier. So this is a sacrifice to the gods for the warband being formed in a last-ditch effort to rid the land of Romans. The warband has been raised from our lands and our vassal states, and I now have some temporary followers. We're going to crush the Romans. Now, at the moment, the Romans are hiding inside a fort. We're about to march over. As soon as the time ticks over, we're allowed to march. We're going to march forward and try and taunt them out of their fortress and then fight them in the field.
What are you doing?
I'm using my fort, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm in the fort and I'm using it.
You just say the fort?
Yeah.
Okay. Romans, cowards!
Cowards! Cowards!
Yeah.
Hide behind your walls!
They're peasants, their opinions literally mean
All fans showed up and they shouted at him.
Execute this traitor!
We've got him!
You should, and you didn't. And now
I tried!
We weren't allowed.
You're apparently an organization.
I am an organisation, I'm a
Probably big look. So you probably have to be here to do it.
Kill the faceless man!
Romans suck!
So you heard him coming. And now you just get insults.
Romans are literally the most cowardly blue in all league.
Their infrastructure is poor and shoddy.
Who needs sewers?
Come get you then.
Okay, thank you for the
Nobody likes aqueduct.
We don't need clean water.
Are they all the Celts in this warband? On this side of the table?
There's another legion and a allied warband with the Romans has just arrived. So can I have 6 of you? Turn 1 going to court. Keep going. So all the resources have been there now.
There's rather a lot of Romans.
So many.
So half our force got taken away to respond to legions that came up behind us, and I'm with the main force attacking the walls of the fortress.
You can wait until you see the That's victory. Wow.
Have the favour of the gods. Mighty strong gods.
Celts go first again. Celt jump in. Celt. 10. Really good jump. Tide. You'd like to send in the legionary? Would you like to send in? Would you like to send in? Would you like to send in legionary? That's 2. Celts again. 10. That's so good.
So it probably looks like every card that the Celtic side are playing is a 10. And that's kind of true, and it's because there's so many of us. What we decided to do beforehand was we'd all play our best cards. Now these counters are favour of the god tokens, and that sacrifice you saw earlier was part of many things we were doing to try and ensure that we had as much favour with the gods as possible. So most of us went into this battle with 2 tokens, one from the huge sacrifice and also one from the raising of the warband, the Druidic predictions of what was to come. A few other players also already had some favour. This was the last hurrah of the Celts. We were throwing everything, absolutely everything, and our best cards only, putting all our favour down, just anything we could do to win this battle and smash the Romans.
Drops down from the ceiling. Romans.
Battle of Dragoni, Semi, and Romans.
Yep.
How is it fair? It's okay.
Seems to be a bit neck and neck at the moment.
But it's happening in Dragoni, right?
I believe so.
For the Romans, anything short of a crushing victory is an outright defeat. They cannot replace their troops, but the Celts can. So all these dead Romans are really going to add up and cause the Romans more problems further down the line. But the question is, are there enough chieftains here to push the Romans out of the north? And sadly, we started to run out of good cards. There really just wasn't anything left.
Oh, 7.
My auxiliary. Roman star. Roman star.
11. Who would like to match 11? Someone play. He's down. And can anyone match 13? He's down as well. Okay, so the Romans score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Celts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Victory for the Romans!
So that was a disappointing, narrow defeat at the fort. Just waiting to hear what happened with the Iceni. No idea yet. Yes, so there's still a warband in the field. There's a chance we'll be able to. There's a chance to be able to carry this fight on. And that's the end of the game. The final battle, the last hurrah with the Celts. We might not have quite taken the fort. A narrow defeat. But the Celts in the field did win, so smashing them apparently. So, mixed result at the end there. What will probably happen next if there was more game to play is the Celts in the field would then go and finish off the guys in the fort. And given that they softened them, they probably win, because I gather the Celts really won big time. So that's the end.
I'm so rich. All of your treasure went to a very close relationship with this guy here. And then that just made me lots of wine, which got me lots of followers. I have an enormous load of followers.
He's done very well.
We're now pretty much, we are independent. The only one real downer I have today was once I came back in here and Rob was in a fight. And I immediately sided with Rob, and it was an absolute shit show, because, obviously, I've been going and having raids solo. I didn't bring any followers with me on any of the raids, so I had no followers that were worth a damn, and I fought Becky, and Becky's hand was only 9s. My hand had a 6.
There was a 10 in there.
We all had quite different experiences, because we were all basically causing chaos and lots of chaos. I know you were just about it. Spreading distruths amongst the people.
It wasn't just me though.
Yeah, that's true.
But mostly me.
I think my personal high point was offering to spy for the High Druids, and then the very next turn going over there and them saying, yeah, we're going to go and try and kill the High Druids. Here's 5 gold. You want to tell anyone?
I think I caused the most havoc with Regni in terms of spreading all the rumours and havoc regarding that. But I've made quite a fair fortune from many tribes. I'm going to be retiring somewhere very nice indeed. There were some mistruths in there, there were some non-mistruths, and I had fun having all that power and just spreading whatever I wanted. And there was some healthy competition in there. A couple of other names we made up, I believe, we just called the whole of Regni the Stormbringers, because essentially they're the ones who started the storm. Also, we have the king in Tut North, Belisios, and we also have Getorix, who wants to kill the High Druids.
So we've just got home and it was a good day. I really enjoyed the start of the game and I really enjoyed the middle of the game. Obviously at the end of the game there wasn't much for me to do. So at the start of the game, the tournament and stuff, that was all quite good fun and stuff. I didn't know this. I got duped into basically doing the tournament naked, so like halving my skill. I wasn't the most skillful fighter at the start anyway. And I didn't actually win. I actually lost the final by 1 point. So I didn't win, but the bard still told the story of me winning naked. And that sort of became relevant later, because as I kind of lucked out on my followers, and I had some really strong follower cards. When we did that initial invasion of the port, we actually kind of felt a bit cheated as the Celtic players there, because we had about 12 warband chiefs there. We this huge invasion of the port that was supplying the how the Romans were getting across, we wanted to burn this port to the ground. When it came to it, the Romans put out 10 cards or something, and we had 12, and we basically just put down 1 card to face their cards, and the GM said, right, that's it, the battle's over, you lost, Celts. And it's like, well, we were putting weak cards, we didn't honestly know what to expect. So we kind of got annihilated in that, which is a bit of a shame, because we had this massive warband, and most of the warband chiefs didn't get to fight, because we didn't understand the rules of battles. But we did sort of stick around and cause a lot of damage down there. The warband wasn't completely disbanded after that first battle, so that was good. And we did some harm to the Roman legions. what I didn't know was that, you know, consequently of all my later battles as well, and I was massively victorious after that initial defeat, taking out the not only Gaulish, an entire tribe just by myself. I actually didn't know this, but I built a hell of a reputation with the Romans. I only found this out after the game. Like, the Romans kept hearing stories about this general from the north, this chieftain from the north, who was just dueling everyone and killing everyone in every battle she went into, and they actually kind of feared me quite a lot, because like every time I turned up, I just kept winning, other than that first battle at the port. And then of course, you know, when I defeated the 20th Legion, then had all my followers taken away. That was obviously a bit of a sore, but after that I didn't really have much to do. So I went around the room and sort of tried to find people to duel, and well, I did it during Samhain, which is a festival, and I shouldn't have done it then, but to be honest, I was just trying to kill myself off. But it built even more of the legend of that character, of Somi or something, I forget the name, but because I was the only chieftain that ever managed to duel a Roman general. And if I hadn't done it during the religious festival, it would have been a fair fight, but because I angered my gods by doing that, I got defeated. But I think I was kind of winning, rather than the fact I didn't have enough hit points to survive, because my gods were angry. And then, of course, to be dealt back into the game, but with an even less powerful, you know, even less followers, like, I don't really know what Control were thinking, putting a character into the game without followers. What's the point? You need followers to fight, so what was that about? But this is kind of, like, we've done 3 mega games now. I don't know whether to do a mega game design video, which might be a bit rich as I've never designed one, but all of the mega games that Jason and I have played in have been written by the same guys, Jim something or other, I'm not sure the name, but he's kind of like the godfather of mega games, in the same way that Gary Gygax is the godfather of D&D. And much like Gary Gygax, his games mechanically aren't necessarily the best. I mean, thematically they're amazing, but mechanically there are some issues. And it comes down to this: in a mega game you want to be able to influence the outcome of the mega game, which means you need to be able to defeat players. The Romans had a particular problem in this. The Regni tribe, they utterly destroyed, but Control didn't want those players to be able to do nothing, so they kept sort of, well, okay, you're now playing the son of your former character, and dealt them back into the game with followers and all sorts of... So the Romans could never defeat the Regni, even though they utterly crushed them. And at the same time, you know, from my perspective, I was a character that, you know, had done very well. And forgetting the fact of the battle against the 20th Legion, where I snatched defeat from the absolute crushing victory that I'd scored, the problem is that as a player I then had nothing to do. And this is something I've seen in mega games, that although it hasn't so much as directly affected me so much, I've seen it in mega games where there's kind of an inevitability of the outcome from the beginning based on the mechanics, that you're really, to some extent, kind of a passenger. The problem is, as a player you want to be able to defeat another player, but also if you're defeated you don't want to be taken out of the game. And this is a weakness of the design of those mega games. It doesn't have to be a weakness of mega games in general. What mega games need to do, in my opinion, as somebody who's designed many games but never designed a mega game, is they need to write the rules for what happens to a dead player. For example, if you were doing a Game of Thrones mega game and your character is defeated or killed in some way, then you, instead of respawning as another character in that land, you either, well, the obvious thing is to either become wildlings or, I was thinking, White Walkers. You know, you then take over a part of that sort of non-player character, becomes a player character per se. In this game, there were tribes to the north that had no players, that could have become playable tribes further north, or maybe if not that, then because that would have kind of been beyond the reach of the Romans in this game anyway. But they could have then carried on the whole intertribal thing, which would have been cool. Or a dead Celt could maybe be given the option of, well, look, you achieved this in your life. This is how much glory you earned. This is the godly influence that you can return into the game via the Druids. So when the Druids do their prayers or divinations, you could reward them based on the glory you'd earned in life, and deciding how much glory you give to any particular thing, or based on whether that's what you want them to do, so you can still influence the main game. So you could give choices to dead players of what to do once they're eliminated. There are all sorts of possibilities, and this needs to be accounted for if a player is to be defeatable. And if a player is not defeatable, then a player cannot, conversely, the opposing player cannot win and achieve a meaningful impact on the game. So that's really my takeaway lesson from this, is that your megagame design must allow for a player to be removed from the game, and that player mustn't be sidelined. They pay 30 odd quid a ticket, which is a thoroughly reasonable price to pay for a day's entertainment, and that money goes on hire of the hall, it goes on game materials. It's it's a fair price to pay, but you can't. So you can't just sideline a player. You've got to get them back in the game, but don't put them back where they died. That's wrong.